especially for those who weren't here in the 1870s, is why is it here in the first place? Was it freight? Was it passenger? It was both. It was originally conceived mostly to bring the men, materials, supplies, and their families up to the isolated mining camps along Clear Creek, and in return take the gold and silver down to Denver much faster and far less expensively than you could ever hope to do with wagons. All of that came to a very abrupt end in 1893 with the collapse of silver prices. Because of the repealing of the Sherman Silver Purchase Act that year, an economic panic that had set in across both Europe and the US, and the rampant overproduction of silver, the price of silver collapsed almost overnight, and with it went the silver trade. Fortunately for the railroad, they'd already seen the writing on the wall for silver about a decade earlier, when the price began a slow and steady decline. Now, we here in Georgetown were very happy that the railroad had been paying attention to the price of silver, because they began actively advertising this as a tourist destination. By the time the bottom of the silver market fell out in 1893, folks were coming from around the world to ride what was considered one of the scenic and engineering marvels of the Victorian era. And it was tourism that was to keep Georgetown from becoming a ghost town.